Hi guys, so welcome back to another pick a card video. So this is another question that's been given from a client, and by the way, I love it when you guys message me and tell me what pick a card readings that you would like, because if it's one that I find interesting because obviously I'm not going to want to do something I don't think is interesting. I mean, who would? So as long as I find it interesting and I generally feel like it's relevant to lots of different people, then I love doing this. It's great. So this question is, let me just get it up. It is, what is the next best action to take to create more abundance in your career, business, job, etc.? So basically this is relevant to whatever it is that brings you in income. And we're going to just see what you can do about that. So I've got 3 piles. So as always, feel into which one is relevant to you. So is it in question number 1? Is it in question number 2? As always, these stones are from my shamanic meze. So I just always know they have gravitas, so if we need to channel in on them, we can. And this is your answer message number 3. Great, so we're going to go straight over to message number 1. So this is for everybody that chose message number 1, for what is the next best action for you to take for you to bring more abundance into your career, business, whatever job, whatever it is that you do. So you're going to start with these cards. Okay, actually for this one I'm just going to say stuff as it comes out as we're kind of doing the cards. So the first thing that I'm getting a visual of is honey, and like honey in a pot, and I'm seeing like a really big black bear that's kind of like scooping out honey, putting it in its mouth, and then all the bees and stuff are flying around and he's just not even paying attention to the bees but totally loving the honey. So in fairness, this feels pretty good already. It kind of feels like, I feel like one of the things for the general thing for you to just know before we get into the action is just ignore anything that's kind of flapping around trying to distract you, basically like those bees around the honey. But also know that actually some of the flap around you, or the people that are buzzing around you, they are actually quite useful for what it is that you need, but you need to be mindful because some of them could sting you, but equally some of them actually will help you in some way. So there's kind of like a judgment call I feel like you need to be aware of. I think you need to be really mindful of staying focused on what it is that you want to do. I generally feel as well like seeing that image, it's about the enjoyment of it as well. So make sure that whatever you're doing to do with this income thing, you're generally enjoying it. And also, it does also feel like with this kind of black brown bear, there is a little bit of a thing about leadership. So I think that you need to make sure that you're being accountable for yourself to do with your income. I feel like you need to have like all your ducks in a row. I feel like you need to be basically very Capricorn to do with your money for abundance to come in. So when I think about Capricorn, I'm just thinking about all this kind of like shrewd decision making, being savvy, not overspending, investing in things that have value. Everything needs to have value. It's kind of being very, very business-like. So this definitely reminds me of a pile where you either have your own business, and if you don't have your own business, you need to be making all the choices with the concept or with the idea that you are your own business, you are your own limited company. So even if you work for somebody, recognize that every choice and every action you're taking is basically feeding your own business, which is you, which is how you show up, which is the money you make, which is the contacts you make, which is the connections you make at work, which is how you put yourself out there, which is how you're seen in the outside world, which is your reputation. I feel like this is really important. And I also feel like for a lot of you, you need to know that the next best action that's going to create a lot more abundance, it's going to be something that is basically, it's not going to be like a sudden windfall of something, but it's going to be a collection of really good actions, choices and awarenesses that you make over a 12-month period. And this is really, really important, because it's almost like I see like a compound interest effect happening to do with you and the actions you take to create more abundance. And again, it's kind of like at every choice, making sure that you're making this shrewd business-like decision, whether you have your own business or whether you work for somebody else. Anyway, so cool, let's just go straight in. Oh, and also, you know, with the bear, I am sort of seeing sort of like a hibernation-y type of period where it's kind of like you definitely need to self-reflect. Self-reflection is key for creating more abundance going forward. And it's almost like as well, don't be influenced by others. Do not be influenced by others. Yes, collect lots of information, because I also see with those bees flying around the honey pot and the bear, it's kind of like the hive mind I'm seeing. So like when your mind is many minds, or you connect into many different perspectives, but when it really comes down to it, you and only you make the decision that you recognize through shrewd perception is the best way to move forward and the best actions to take to create more abundance in a long-term way. So don't look at get rich quick themes. This will not work well. Don't look at doing something quick and underhand at work or in the business. No, keep it all above board. Just be really, really mature, stable, and just know that if you do this consistently, this is where a lot of your abundance is coming in. Anyway, cool, let's just go in, because otherwise we'll channel forever. So this, first card we have anyway is the Tower card. So that's a super powerful card. So, I mean, actually looking at a lot of the spread here, we also have the Magician and we have the Judgment card. Oh wow, we have the Lovers. So basically out of 6 cards, we've got 4 major arcana. So that is already telling me that there's the ability for you to significantly improve your income within the next 12 months. But anyway, let's get into it more. Okay, then we have, you know what, I don't totally know what this card is. So I'm going intuitive on it. So we've got the Libra sign, so I know it's an air sign. I feel this is very much like this is getting very, very clear about your mind to do with everything, although I can't say which arcana one it is or whatever. And then we have the 6 of Swords. Oh, it's got 2. I love these cards, they're amazing. Okay, then we have obviously the Judgment card, which I was mentioning. We have the Lovers. Ooh, there's a real collaboration type thing as well that you need to be mindful of. And this was again what I was seeing, I think, with the bees around the bear. Some of these collaborations are going to be really helpful to you and some of them are not. And you need to be very, very, see things from all sides when it comes to making choices to do with you creating more abundance, particularly when it's to do with other people or one-on-one connections or contracts. So if you're a business owner, if it's contracts you're doing, if you work for somebody, it's about like the one-to-one interactions that you have either with clients or with staff members, other staff members, or anything like that. You also need to see things from all the different perspectives of these individuals that you're engaging with on a one-on-one, because I'm hearing it's really, really important that you need to know about the underlying motives. Oh, sorry, and also this one is the Magician. Sorry, your reading's just coming out like bum, bum, bum. But anyway, it's really, really important that you understand the underlying motives of these people that you're engaging with. It's really, really important because it's almost like for you to be creating more money, you have to get better at your decision making. So let's say, you know how I always like to do this spectrum, so you're all on the same vibration, but some of you are right at the top of that vibration and some of you are right at the bottom of the vibration and some of you are all the way in the middle. So you need to feel into yourself exactly where you are on that spectrum. But basically it's like, no matter if you are already an amazing decision maker, for you to earn more abundance in what it is that you do, you need to increase that. Again, you are like being called to kind of level up and get that much better at it, because no matter how good you are at something, there's always ways to like grow and expand and diversify. Actually, it's that for you guys. So it's not that you need to get better, it's just more that you're going to need to grow and expand and diversify to do with how you make decision making. And I actually think that that's really exciting. I love that. Equally as well, if you're people that are on the lower end of that decision making, let's say you know that you generally find it difficult, like I know that being a Libra, And my brother's a Libra. We get on amazingly. He is awesome. But he will honestly say, like, one of the things he really has to work with is decision making. Not at the point that he can't make good decisions, for example, but he struggles to commit to one decision or the other because of the fact he can see it from all of these different perspectives. So I think if you know you're somebody that struggles with decision making and how to make good decision making, I really feel like it's about exploring that further, because for you to make more money, your decision making needs to get better. Basically, it needs to get sharper, it needs to get more decisive, it needs to basically, actually look at my on my See It Like a Psychic channel, there's one about the highest potential of the Libra archetype. You need to get to the highest potential of the Libra archetype with your decision making, which is how you can do this thing about seeing all the different perspectives and then understanding which bits are useful and which bits are not. So then it's kind of like you need to come in with Virgo energy and have a lot of discernment. So collect all the data and see all the perspectives from the Libra kind of angle, but then you need to increase your discernment of which information is useful and which information is not. So that's kind of what I'm seeing quite a lot with that. Equally, I just want to find out a little bit more about this Six of Swords, because I feel like this is something relatively, it's something to do with the past. Something to do with the past, to do with this decision making, I feel. So let's just get a few cards. I am going to read these ones reversed if they come out reversed. Let's see what we get. So we have, okay, another Swords, a Sovereign of Swords. That's either the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords. I actually can't remember. But actually it doesn't matter. And actually if we're going gender neutral or whatever, it really doesn't matter which one it is. But anyway, oh wow, and another one. So now we've got the Sovereign of Coins. So again, I can't remember if that's the King or the Queen because this deck calls it differently. But that's super interesting. So you basically have either two Queens or two Kings. I'm going to say I think it's Queens. It feels like Queen energy. It's that you've got two Queens in both the swords, the way you think, and the coins, the way that you, let's say, create your reality. So I do actually really feel, it's kind of like emphasizing a little bit more about what we were saying anyway. I just kind of feel like it's really, really important that you need to, what did I say, like, you know, some decision making in the past, and this will apply to you that already know you're really skillful at making decision processes or how you do it. But in order for you to improve wherever you're at on that scale, or diversify wherever you're at on that scale of decision making, it's kind of like you need to look back at the past, because I'm hearing there's one or two super significant moments to do with when you're making decisions. And I'm hearing as well, for some of you, it's purely in the working environment, but actually for like 80% of you, it's the decision makings that you're making in multiple areas of your life. There's a couple that are highly significant, and it's really important to go back and reflect on those, because there's something, if you purposefully go back and select the memories that stand out most to do with something important to do with your decision making. Like I say, there might be two or three, and then you look at these two or three past memories. When you look at them together in succession, like collectively, something is going to ping out into your mind to do with what it is that you need to know and understand to diversify, increase, expand your decision making, which will help you make better decisions in the future. Now I'm going to keep it quite open like that, because the thing is, it's going to be so wildly different for all of you. But this is where as well, like, I always trust that people that come to my channel, you're already intuitive, you're already like very psychic, you're already really great at reflecting and all of these things. You will find it. It's going to pop out in your head, if it hasn't already, when you look at these 2 to 3 highly significant moments to do with choice making. You're going to see a pattern, you're going to see something that you hadn't seen before, and that's the thing that's almost going to give you, it's going to give you this aha moment, which actually is the Tower as well, which is the Tower, the Judgment, and the Magician card. It's going to completely give you this aha moment, and this is exactly what you need to understand when it comes to the next choice point that life gives you to do with taking an action for you to create more abundance in your career, business, job, etc. This is really, 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 really important, is all I can feel. And again, the importance is not just because it's a feeling that I'm getting really strongly, but like I say, you've got the Tower, the Judgment, the Lovers, and the Magician. You've got 4 super powerful major arcana cards. And I do also feel like with the Libra card here and with the Six of Swords card here that came out, this isn't a definite for you. It's not like, what I'm trying to say is, this is an absolute choice point. It feels like it can go either or direction. So you could either look at changing and expanding and diversifying your decision making, or you could stay the same. It's not like it's destiny or fated that you're going to make this change. This very much has to be you consciously deciding that you want to do it, like with the Magician card. And again, you know, like with the, and also this is why it's going to be super potent, because it is so much you, your choice, it's your free will choice. And it does involve some self-mastery with the Magician card and the Judgment card. It means that it's not a definite, it's not a guarantee. This is something that you have to decide that you want, and you need to go about and make all the relevant observations and then take the relevant actions after that. But right, let me just pull out a few more oracle. Also, I can see the light's a bit bright, so one sec. Just see if you can see those cards a bit better. Yeah, slightly. Cool. Okay, right, let's pull out some major arcana. Which ones do we want? I feel like, no, wait. Okay. I feel like we're going to go quite astrology, kind of, because I don't know why I'm feeling it, like it's relevant. And actually, for some of you, I'd probably say, if you are into your birth charts and stuff like that, you want to have a look at which sign, which house Libra energy is in. And then you also want to have a look and see which house and sign Venus is in. And you don't just want to see what's going on in those houses and where Venus is in your birth chart. You also want to see any aspects that are affecting the house that Libra is in, or affecting the your Venus, because I think that's also going to tell you some stuff. And I'm also hearing for a lot of you as well, check out Taurus. These sort of things are just going to give you that little bit more insight and awareness, and particularly if you're tracking back stuff here. I mean, really what I'm telling you to do is kind of be your own psychic detective, essentially, so that you can understand yourself better on a much deeper, more integrated level. And this will also help you get the awareness that you need. Again, it just feels like with the Judgment and the Magician card, you're really being asked to step up. And I do feel that anybody that's chosen these piles, you're already going to have a lot of self-awareness, or you're going to have been really working at that, if that makes sense. Also, I don't know why, but something feels really pretty about your spread. So again, and actually pretty reminds me of Venus. Venus rules Libra. It's all kind of like coming together. And also the Lovers, I think obviously it connects into Venus. So there's quite a Venetian energy as well. And again, you know what I said to you before when I saw the bear enjoying the honey and all of that? It just feels like it's really important you are enjoying what you are doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you've got to find a way to enjoy it again, because I feel like this is really, really important. Now, I think these cards are beautiful. The pictures are amazing, so we're going to go with this since I'm feeling a lot of beauty in your pile. I also feel like something in the summer, whenever you're watching this, something in the summer could bring you a lot of abundance too. It feels like, again, like that bear just sitting in the sunshine, bees swarming around, loving the honey. There's something sweet about summer loving type of thing that I'm feeling big time. So yeah, but let's see. So we have here swimming in duality, laying a strong foundation. Nice. Then we have last quarter moon. Then we have notice the signs. I love these cards. I think they're so nice. Then we have, oh, Virgo. I was talking about Virgo earlier, right? When I said, funny enough, I said the Libra thing about using your perceptions and stuff, and the Virgo to having the discernment. This is important. Also, just check out while Virgo is in your birth chart then too. Oh wow, then we have the last quarter moon, and then we have the first quarter moon. That's interesting. And then we also have, oh nice, Pisces. Okay, right, just give me a minute when I feel into all of this. What additional things do you need to know? It's interesting, you know, swimming with duality, this card here, and also the Lovers card here. Obviously the Lovers is very much a duality card as well. And so I do feel like, how would I say, like, and funny enough, Pisces, 2 fishes, and we've got the Pisces card here too. Everything feels really quite interconnected in this pile. It feels really interconnected. So I think what you need to know is, as well, is when you're taking the next, what is the next action you need to take to create more abundance, you need to, if the action step feels intense, unbalanced, dramatic, or disharmonious in some way, it's not the action it's not the next action step to take. I know that for sure. So for example, these are just examples. I'm not saying it is this, but just so you get an idea of the flavor of the energy I'm talking about. It's like if let's say you've got a business and you're looking at a contract, if you're aware that that contract is coming with intensity from the other party, whoever that is, or you know, the business or the person or whoever that other entity is that you might have the contract with is unbalanced or unstable in some way or intense in some way, this is categorically not the way for you to go to create more abundance. Equally, if you are if you're feeling really intense about something that's going off in work, or it feels like the decision you're thinking about making is quite a radical change to do with work, again, believe it or not, this doesn't feel like this is the next best way for you to create abundance, because mostly about this spread is grounded, it's mature, and it's really quite balanced. You know, Libra, Lover's energy, swimming in duality, Pisces, the 2 fishes together. And I actually think almost in that kind of way, the Tower card at the very beginning is almost like a cautionary thing, I feel. Like, do not take any super radical action right now. That is not the action that's going to create more abundance in your life. And where did we find that? I think we saw a stability thing somewhere. Where was that? Oh yeah, that was it. Laying a strong foundation. So laying a stronger foundation at the bottom of this. Strong foundations is the opposite of the Tower card, because the Tower card basically disrupts anything which isn't a strong foundation. So I think that's something else as well that you need to be aware of. And the Lovers, if this is connection, or let's put it in that kind of way, the Lovers is never going to make a long-term relationship if there's a lot of instability and if the foundations aren't strong. So again, just know this is something that you need to think about when you're thinking about the next action steps to create more abundance. Nothing too radical. I feel like it's stuff that you've already been building towards. I feel like if you do know that you do need to end up making a big shift, now is not the time to do it. Now is the time to get all your ducks in a row mentally, on a mental level. That's really, really important. Get super clear, get a lot of clarity, and give yourself a bit of time, because with this Pisces card here, I feel like as well, this is very much kind of saying, it's kind of saying, let things settle. Don't make decisions quickly. Because the thing is, if you make a decision quickly, you're mainly going to be using either your conscious mind or you're going to be using your gut instinct. Now, both of these are really powerful, but for whatever reason, what's coming out in your reading is you need to allow your subconscious, unconscious mind to also have an input. And I think it's because you've got the Judgment card here, because you're going to be going, you need to change in a certain type of way internally in order for you to get prepared and able to accept and take the next best action steps to create more abundance in your job, business, etc. And because it requires you to have this sort of change and this step up with the Judgment card, it does mean that you don't want to do anything too quick, because it's almost like you need to let your subconscious, unconscious mind with the Pisces energy give you some input, give you some subtle, very subtle hints about how to move forward. So this might also mean if some of you are quite into your dreams might give you quite a bit of insight and stuff like that. But also what I'm feeling as well is, and I know people never get this, people are always like, I can't hear my spirit guides, I don't know my spirit guides, who are my spirit guides? How do I know my spirit guides? Well, this is the thing. You don't necessarily need to know what they are, who they are, what they're saying to you, because the truth is they are communicating with everybody on an unconscious level, and Pisces energy is unconscious. This is why, one of the reasons why Pisces, they say Pisces energy is really psychic energy. It's mainly because it's tapping into and it has access to spaces which are completely unconscious to the majority. And it's in that unconscious that all of this stuff happens, like the awareness of past lives, like, I don't know, soul contracts, spirit guides, you want to name it, you know, all that kind of stuff. But the truth is, your spirit guides are always talking to you. And the way that you can understand this is, if you give yourself time before you have to make a decision, you might have some ideas pop into your head, or some feelings, or even some people might say some things which stimulate different thoughts and ideas in your head. This is all part of spirit guides working with you, whether they're working with you through other people, or whether they're working with you on such a subtle level that you don't even realize that these ideas or these inspirations coming into your mind are coming through your spirit guide system. And obviously there's also other ways that they're coming through, but relevant to this reading is for you to understand that concept, and so I suppose be open and subtly aware to that type of thing. Woo, that's cool. And that'll be the notice the signs thing I do feel too. It's this subtle energy that you need to be open to. Just be open to the subtle insights and stuff like that, and trust them enough to kind of be curious, to kind of follow them through. That's the other thing with that. So just, but also be careful. I'm not talking about synchronicities with this. I am absolutely not talking about synchronicities, feathers, numbers, nothing like that. I'm talking about something a bit more refined and a bit more intelligent in a way. And what I mean by that is, it'll be detail. It's not just a random thing, generic, that people think, oh, it's a sign from my guides. No, no, no. It's going to be detailed insight or awareness that comes to you internally through nothing but your own just inspirational genius, I'd say, or somebody else's inspirational genius when they're talking to you. So just, yeah, make sure that you don't get distracted. You know how we saw some of those bees flying around in the beginning, and I said, oh, some of them are going to take you off piste and some of them will be helpful. Ones that will take you off piste is, don't fall for those generic signs like 1111, white feathers, stuff like this. No, 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 you guys are way, 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 way more spiritually intellectual or energetically intellectual than that. And so actually life is asking you to now be more mature and grown up with your insights of how that's working. So that's awesome. Now let me just feel into these two. Last quarter and first quarter. Again, it's kind of interesting because last quarter and first quarter, it feels like you've got one on one spectrum and one on the other spectrum, which again just keeps playing into this concept we've got of duality with Libra, the duality card there, the Lovers card here, the Pisces with the two fishes in the opposite directions like here. So again, for me, this is just really emphasizing this thing about it's kind of like, how could I describe it? Okay, like this. Let's say if you were a whole, let's say white moon, so the black part was white. Let's say that you see things in a certain way and then you're then making choices and taking actions from that way. What this reading is trying to tell you is that actually, yeah, keep half of the way that you see the world and half of the way that you do things, but you need to bring in another half, almost like this black half, this unknown half, this mystical kind of half, as it were, like with the Pisces energy. It's kind of like you've got to allow, I think it's just really this thing about allowing subtle messages to come through before you take action steps to do with creating abundance. Because essentially for you to create more abundance, you've got to do something in a slightly, some of you a slightly subtle, different way, and some of you in a majorly different way. But in order to do that, you have to get different insights that will navigate you through this different pathway. So a bit like with this black half of the moon here, I see it very much like the moon card, and that kind of under the moonlight, things are not clear, things aren't as obvious as normal, and that's it. It's not necessarily going to be obvious how you make these next big steps to create more abundance, and that's why you have to be tuned in more kind of like intelligently and perceptively to everything that's kind of going off, and that's how you're going to get the action steps to take. Cool, so I don't want to keep going on and on because I'm trying to do these videos shorter, but now let's just pull one more. This is just for you to interpret, and actually I think I'm going to use one of these cards again because I really love them. So let's see. Oh, nice. So Revelation, sing your song. So if you need to, obviously pause the video, but I hope that was useful for you, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care. Bye. So hi guys, this is for everybody that chose message number 2 for what is the next best action to take to create more abundance in your career, job or business. So let's see what comes out. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit as we go along until we've pulled out all of the piles. So let's just see. Always like being given a visual. Okay, so instantly what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a fisherman, and the fishing on the side of like a nice, peace, tranquil river. I kind of think it feels like springish time, but spring going into summer. And it feels like he's been there for quite a long time. He's not catching anything. But then all of a sudden, like he's there for that long, that as the sunlight starts to change, and maybe the sun's now going down a little bit, he catches one amazing fish. And this amazing fish is not only big, but it's like got beautiful, oh, what's that thing, like bologna shells as scales. So it's not just a big fish, it is a beautiful fish kind of thing. But it feels like, I feel like the fisherman was like, yeah, I'm not really catching anything, maybe I should go home. But then he was like, oh, it's quite nice and sunny and I quite like the sun in my face, so I'll stay. And then he'd be like, oh, I'm getting a bit hungry and I'm not really catching anything, maybe I should go home. But then maybe you saw like a blue kingfisher bird, like, and he was just like, whoa, that's beautiful. And then he was intrigued to stay a bit longer. And it kind of feels like every time he thought, okay, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go home now because I'm catching nothing, life kind of gave him some sort of short, brief pleasure moment, which meant that he stayed long enough to in the end finally catch a fish. So it's kind of like he didn't get what he wanted instantly, but at the same time it wasn't unpleasurable, because every time he thought maybe, oh, maybe I should change, or I should go home, or that should be it now, life just like teased him with something beautiful, which was enough to just make him enjoy the process and stay long enough to actually catch something. So let's see how that is then relevant. I love it when I see these images because they're just so vivid. Okay, let's have a look. So we're not going to read anything reversed again for you guys. So weird, I don't know why, I just feel like I keep not needing or wanting to read anything reversed, so I don't know why that is. But anyway, let's just see. 2 want to come out, so we'll do it. Right, so, oh wow, I'm going to use this as a wild card because obviously it's some kind of weird thing with all of the different things on. So let me get one more card. And whatever card comes on the top is super, super significant to the entire thing. So it's like this card underneath it supercharges the one on top. So let's see what you get. It must be good. Okay. Oh, wow. So the High Sage, you know what? I can't remember if this is the High Priestess or if this is the Hierophant. So I'm going to take it as it's actually both. That's interesting. And let's see what else we got here. So 5 of Cups. Six of Swords. Interestingly, 6 of Swords came out third in pile 1 as well. So that's interesting. Okay, then we have 4 of Swords. And we have 8 of Pentacles. And then we have 5 of Cups. That's 2 5 of Cups. Wow. And then we have the Cancer card. And this is one of the Court cards. I can't remember which, but I just go with the energy. So it's a very feminine, I think it's a very feminine energy. Right, so just give me a moment. Let me just feel into this, see what's going on. So what do you need to know? What's the next best action step you need to take to create more abundance in your job or career? Okay, so the first thing, and this came out a bit with the other pile as well, first of all I'm going to tell you the perception shift that you need to then allow you to be able to take the next action step that's going to make you feel or create more abundance. So the first thing that you need to know is you need to change your perception about working hard, feeling like you're always working hard, feeling like you're working too much, feeling like work takes over too much, feeling like you lose when you go to work in some way, or like the way that you earn money is at a loss in some way, or you're not appreciated for what it is that you do enough, or something kind of like that, or that you should be doing better at work, or that your business should be doing better. There's kind of that kind of mentality going off, because it kind of feels like, it does feel a bit heavy, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a little bit heavy, but it kind of feels like it is, I actually feel like you guys have got this perception from something that's gone off way in the past. And actually this card in this deck, or this time around, in pile 1, it felt like something generally in the past that was like, it wasn't specific to childhood or any specific area of life. I'm really sorry to say it, because I know sometimes it's so annoying to keep hearing this, but I generally do feel like what's going off here is you need a slight perception change to do with something to do with childhood, to do with lack of appreciation, lack of being appreciated, and that no matter how much you work or how much you do or how much you give, it's never enough. It's never enough, and then it just kind of leads to some kind of stalemate. Because as soon as I saw this card, the Four of Swords, for some reason I heard the word stalemate. So I feel like as well, you've got to get out of this mindset that you're at a stalemate, to do with your job, to do with your income level, to do with how abundant you can be. And I feel like for so many of you, you generally will feel like, well, no, I feel like I should be really abundant. I feel like I should have loads more money, that kind of thing. And I categorically agree with you. Yeah, totally. But I do feel like that is very, it's very much in your conscious mind. And I feel like it's not so much in your unconscious mind, but it's more in the subconscious mind. So it's just below the surface, that there's some belief systems that aren't quite in alignment with what it is that you need, so that you can experience more abundance and stuff like that. Again, a bit like pile 1, I need to confirm this for a little bit more info, so we can see exactly what is going on. And again, I always say this thing about what I say, oh, what is it? You know, you're all on a spectrum. I'm just channeling for people that are coming down with this very specific vibration at this very moment in time, and this is the message that they need to hear. But you could be on any scale of that vibration. So you could be right at the high end of that vibration, right at the low end of that vibration, or anywhere in between. So you need to feel intuitively where you are on that, and then I'll give you the insight for each of those extreme positions to do with this vibration, if that makes sense. So just bearing that in mind as I'm going to do this reading. Oh, I love that, I'm really pulled to that. That's the 8 of Wands, and this is the Chariot. Oh wow, really powerful cards. Okay, now I do really like this. Okay, so what I do feel is, for people that have chosen this pile, you actually could be, you either, wherever you're at with your finances, it can increase a lot more, and I do feel like this increase can happen quickly. At pile 1, this was a long-term situation. With you, I feel like it can happen quickly, but it's kind of weird. It's a bit like what we saw with the image of that fisherman. It won't feel like it's happening quickly, because it feels like you keep needing to give up or change something, or something's not working. But the thing is, when it happens super quick, and it happens in really quite a big way. But the main thing with you guys is it's just kind of like you just need to keep sticking with it in some way. Anyway, that just came out from that, but I want to go back into this about the childhood thing, where it's coming from. I do feel like this is very much, because it almost looks like we've got a ram here. I feel like it's quite a masculine energy, this card, the way they've depicted it. So it definitely feels like it's coming from your perception of masculine energy from where you were growing up. So the person, whether it was a male figure or a female figure that had the most masculine energy, so whoever was your primary caregiver that had the most masculine energy, it feels like this is a faulty belief system that's coming through them. Maybe they, in some ways, I feel like they could have been very, very dominant and seemed like they were very, very confident and direct and knew what they were doing, but actually they didn't really know what they were doing. And when it came to finances, I don't really feel like they had a huge amount of success, basically. Or if they did have a huge amount of success, it came with so many different complications and heaviness that ultimately it never felt to you as a kid as what success was with money. Because even if they were like multi-million-pound parents or whatever, because there was so much other stuff going on that was heavy, that wealth never felt like wealth. And then obviously if you're on the other spectrum where it was from a primary caregiver, the most masculine energy that didn't have a lot of money, again it is just generally like they just were not good with money. And again, because they weren't good with money, you either never had a lot of it or it was unstable. And this again created like a limiting belief to do with money, because it kind of feels like before you can take an action that will create more abundance in your life, you need to appreciate wait a minute, just it's not quite there. You need to appreciate that I don't know, it's like I think you need to get rid of any kind of feelings or thoughts where you feel on some deep unconscious level that you it's not that you're not good enough, it's not about that at all, because it's way more specific than that. It's one sec, let's just get one more because I don't want to give you the incorrect info. So let me just double check. The Death card, wow, powerful. It is, I think you've got to get rid of this concept on some level that either earning a lot of money, there is a loss in some way. So maybe there is a loss of time, or there is a loss of freedom, or earning a lot of money comes with a huge responsibility, or earning a lot of money comes with a lot of accountability, or earning a lot of money comes with a lot of people coming around you that aren't genuine, or there's some kind of like limiting belief that you have to do with that. And it's definitely set up from what you've seen as a child, particularly with how money was handled within the family. So like I say, even if you had a lot, there's something about it that never felt wealthy. And so that you have this unconscious belief that with a lot of money comes some kind of like, just negative, there's some kind of like payback, which isn't great when you have a lot of money. Or equally, if you came from the childhood where you generally just didn't have a lot of money, again, you feel from the physical reality of how you experienced it, that not having a lot of money comes with a lot of hardship. So this is why it's really interesting, whichever spectrum you're on, money is somehow unconsciously linked in with some kind of hardship, with some kind of a loss. And definitely it's something that you feel in a very kind of emotional level. So it might not be rational in any way, because with the Five of Cups, it's coming as this kind of like, this emotional sense of loss. Like seeing things from a perspective, which is, it's always like, it's the, it's like it's being so drawn to what isn't working as opposed to being drawn to what is working. And so it also makes me think that for some of you there's this kind of thing of perfectionism, being a perfectionist, and that's why you're always working so hard. But because you have that perfectionist thing, it's also like reality can't fully say you're doing amazing, because in your unconscious mind you still think there's things that you could do better. So therefore on some level reality reflects that back to you, and that's why you're also at this mental stagnation point. So first of all, I know we've gone loads into that about the perception, but you really needed to know that perception change for then the next best action step to come in. So now, there's always one part that's really complicated. So anyway, this is you guys, but that's cool. So now let's just work out what is the actual action steps then. So what is the actual action steps? Do you actually what I want to do, and I don't usually do this, I feel like we clear these away and put them to the side. Start fresh here. So what is the next action steps you need to take to create more abundance? So once you've got that perception, what is the action to take? Let's have a look. Okay, so we have another Virgo card, so Virgo energy, and we have the Six of Cups. Cute. And we have Five of Swords. Not so cute. Okay, so what's the next best action step to take? Right, one sec. I'm also going to get the oracles out for this too. I wonder as well if you guys have been trying for quite a long time to create more abundance, and you don't understand why it's not increasing more, because it feels like I don't even understand, basically. The energy is so strong. But actually, these are coming up upright, so fair enough. And just one more here. And again, it's like, even if you already make a lot of money, you're wanting to have like a big step increase in some way. But let's see what we get. So the intimate dance of belief and emotions, there is strength in numbers. That's really interesting, because I did already say to you, like, you know, there is this real emotional aspect with this loss thing, and you need to change your perception to do with that and money. Anyways, then we have Mars. Okay, nice. So quite a powerful energy, very direct, very assertive. Oh wow, then we have Saturn. Okay, so this is what's going on. Saturn and Mars together, if they're conjunct in your birth chart, and actually they are in my birth chart, depending on what area of your chart this is in, you know, you can have a lot of energy, and you can have a lot of ability to be really intense and really focused, and it's kind of very kind of like warrior type of energy. But equally, if it's conjunct and it's not aspected well, or you've got a difficult transit going to that kind of conjunction of these two energies combined, oh my God, it can be frustrating. It can be so frustrating, because it feels like you need to do a colossal amount of energy into something to get even any movement. And I do feel like as well, this might be something that's been set up in this belief system about this thing to do with the loss thing of money, or this sort of heaviness to do with money. So anyway, going into the action that you need to take is you need to stay the course and be disciplined with the Saturn energy. So you need to stay the course and just persist no matter what. And you kind of need to with this Mars card here as well, and the space card and the full moon card, actually, with all of this. In fact, rather than me just putting it down to the cards, let me just tell you what I'm seeing rather than have to keep breaking it down with the cards. But basically, what is basically going on here is the next action step you need to take is, what's going to happen is, let me tell you the scenario and then you'll be able to spot it when it comes. Basically, what is going to happen is this. You're going to be persistent with something for quite a long time, and this might already be the pathway you're on. And you know what? Every now and then you think, you know what? I do need to quit, or I need to change action because this is not working. But what you need to do is you need to recognize that all you're actually doing is you're waiting for the moment when the opportunity presents itself. This opportunity will be so obvious. This full moon energy, it will be so obvious that there's no doubt what you should do. And the one thing that you don't want to do at this point is hesitate. You need to take that action. It's something that will increase your money a lot in whatever way, whether it's a business contract, whether it's a new business, whether it is a new job, whether it is something that you need to do with a client. If you work for a company, and locking down this client is going to ultimately mean that it's going to give you the opportunity to have an increase in wage or something like this. But the opportunity is going to be so obvious. You need to just make sure you grab it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't think, oh, maybe this won't work out. Don't think any of these things like maybe it'll be snatched from underneath me, or the rug, I'll get a rug pull to do with it. No, it is exactly what it appears. It's like that massive, amazing fish that had bologna shell, shell scales in that vision that we saw in the beginning. It's very much like good things come to those who wait as well. Like I'm seeing like that Guinness advert of the surfers. I don't know if you've seen it, where some really good waves come and lots of people go for these good waves, but one surfer waits, and because he waits, he's the last man standing, and that's when the most amazing wave appears, and he just like does an amazing, like, I don't know, ride in or whatever you would call it. So the thing is, it's going to be so obvious that you just don't second guess it. With the Virgo card, please don't overanalyze this, because when it comes, it's going to be super obvious. And the reason that you're going to know it's this opportunity as well is because with the Six of Cups, this time it's going to make you feel really good from the very get-go. You'll get this feeling of almost like it's meant to be kind of thing. And that is another cue that this is the right thing for you and this is the way to go. But yeah, so essentially this opportunity comes in and you just need to take full responsibility for it, and do not talk yourself out of it, psych yourself out of it, anything like that. And the image that I'm getting as well, like with the with these three cards here, particularly the Mars and Saturn and the space, is I'm getting, and this is a metaphor, right, so go with this. I'm basically seeing, like, back in, like, I don't know, whenever, like when people are a bit more tribal and stuff, or even like armies, but like before there were guns, so that kind of passed, way past. It's kind of like one army was just kind of like waiting. They were waiting in the marshlands or something, hidden, and they were waiting and waiting and waiting for the opposition to come. And the thing is, they got quite a few false signals or false starts, but they didn't react to it. But because they had quite a few false signals and starts, they started to lose hope in what they were doing. But they didn't. They had a really great commander or like person in charge, Saturn here, who was an incredible warrior as well, and through experience knew, just got this feeling. And that's the thing with this Six of Cups, it's like this deep feeling that you just know something's coming, something's headed, it's the right thing or it's the wrong thing. It's this kind of energy we're talking about. This general had this kind of energy, and he just knew exactly what to say to keep his troops going and inspired. So a bit like with the fisherman, when obviously the fisherman saw like an amazing, like had the sunlight on him, so he relaxed and stayed a bit longer, then thought he was going to leave, but then a blue kingfisher went past and he was mesmerized by it and wanted to stay longer to see if he could see it again. It's that kind of energy basically. And the same thing with this general. He understood how to keep his troops motivated, even though in some levels, because they weren't getting the stimulus they needed, so they could take the action, they could still stay the course. And because he got them so well, he still kept their psychology and their energy and their emotions so ready and prepared, that then finally, when the moment did arise and the opposition did come, they were in such high spirits and in the best situation to leverage it and make it work. So that is essentially massively what I feel you need to know, and you need to understand about the next best action step for you to take to do with creating more abundance in your job or career. It's those two images and metaphors. I would also say just check out where Mars and Saturn are on your birth chart if you know much about your birth chart. I think it could be useful, because Saturn, you need to know how you can tap more into this energy of like real staying power and sticking power and understanding timings, because Saturn's the Time Lord, so it understands timings, when to wait, when to go, that kind of thing. This is so important for you, and you're going to feel it coming. I do generally feel like whatever this opportunity is, that it's going to be the one that you need to take the action on straight away. You will feel it coming. I generally feel like you're going to feel it coming. You're going to have some kind of like almost unconscious wisdom that's going to give you the experience to know that something is coming, or this is the right contract, or I feel like this is going to work with this client, or this raise in a job is going to work, or there's something about that. So yeah, you need to pay attention to that. And then yeah, you absolutely just need to be incredibly definite and powerful when you make the movement, like zero hesitation, like no hesitation. And funny enough, I did wonder what this Five of Swords card was, because it didn't really fit in with the energy of everything else. But what I'm being told the Five of Swords is, can you see the actual image? Because it's more the image on this. You see the swords going through the heart and the lungs. It's more about being completely definite with what it is that you do, like literally just like bam, poof, all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, all of your actions in complete alignment with whatever this opportunity is that's coming through. So there is zero hesitation. But yeah, then again, it is just really important you get yourself in the right mindset so that you are able to spot that opportunity and go with it. But most importantly, so you have the emotional intelligence and almost like the psychology to allow you to hold the course, stay steady, and not lose hope or sight of what it is that you're doing, because good things come to those who wait. And this is the most important thing for you to know right now. Cool, so I know that took us a little bit of time to get there, but obviously it's how it all links in. I'm just going to pull one last card now, and this is for you to interpret yourself for exactly what you need to know, so you can use your own intuition. Let's see what you get. Oh, nice. Love this card. I love these deck in general. So, yeah, there you go. So pause the video if you need to, so you can keep looking at that card. And maybe you want to look at the qualities of the power and of the bear and the polar bear, but I'll leave that all up to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that reading. I look forward to reading for you again and speak to you soon. Bye. Hi guys, so this is for everybody that chose message number 3 for what you need to, what is the next best action for you to take to create more abundance in your career, job, business, etc. So let's just see. Right, I'm going to do what I did with the others, and I'm just going to allow words to come out of my mouth until we've got all of the cards up and stuff. So let's see what happens. So essentially a bit of channeling. So this video will probably be a bit longer because it always is longer when we do the channeling bit. Right, so let's see. So let's have a vision because I liked all of that. Okay, cool. So the first thing that I'm seeing is I'm seeing a vision of a little girl with blonde hair and plaits that's kind of like skipping on a skipping rope and hopping down some steps. Okay, then I see that she's like falling over and she grazes a knee and it starts to bleed. A mother sees her from the distance and starts to panic, but literally the little girl gets up, just rubs it off. Well, she kind of stares at it. She's kind of curious. Then she kind of rubs it, and this is weird. She kind of tastes it. And then basically she just gets up and carries on again. And then weirdly she's like going towards a playground, it appears, and then a whole load of other kids kind of like are around her and they want to play with her and they want to hang out with her and they want to be a friend and that kind of thing. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. Oh, cool. So let's see what this means. I love it when I get these really abstract things, and then we'll just link it into the reading. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that I'm really getting already about this is when I see this thing about the girl in the image is basically the energy that you need to be in to basically take the action step for you to create more abundance or whatever, is you need to be in this state of being able to respond very quickly to something not working out the way that you wanted, analysing it and getting the awareness that you need from it, and then carrying straight on with what you're doing. What it's going to do is somehow it's going to make you quite magnetic for an abundant opportunity, because it's something about the fact that you move so quickly from one state of something not working to so quickly to turning it around and making it work, that basically creates a lot of magnetism in your energy field and actually attracts the abundant opportunity towards you. So that's the first bit that you need to know about that. I guess it's a little bit like turning lemons into lemonade kind of thing. And it's like the better you get at that skill from turning something from one extreme to another, the more it kind of builds the energy in your energy field and kind of like draws things and situations to you. So, oh wow, Scorpio, first card. Okay, this makes total sense to me already, because Scorpio energy is very intense. And this is the thing, I did see this thing about turning one extreme into another extreme and doing it very quickly and it creating this magnetism. This is absolutely reminds me of the Scorpio energy. What you might want to do is go on my other YouTube channel, See It Like a Psychic, and just have a listen to the video for the highest potential of the Scorpio archetype, because I feel that would be really, really important. Because just know you've got the energy that you need to be in to create for the next best action step with abundance it's to create this real kind of like intensity, but intensity in a very like controlled, kind of like channeled way. So it's not destructive, because sometimes this energy can be very destructive, the Scorpio energy, because it can hold deep hidden unconscious traumas that then when something happens to us which isn't ideal, it unconsciously tripwires us back to a trauma, and even though we don't realize, we start acting as we were when that trauma happened ages ago and bringing it into the current situation, and it keeps us stuck there a little bit and it drains our energy completely, and it does the opposite of magnetism. It's kind of like it completely turns off all of your manifesting and abundance energy, and that it just switches it off instantly. So just be totally mindful of that kind of thing. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so then we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, that's interesting. I feel already, and this is just like you know how we've got the M here and there's kind of the waves here, everything feels quite curvy. It feels like you need to be open to things turning very quickly, and you know, like this kind of energy, it's not straightforward how you're going to create more abundance, and you need to be open to that. You need to be super flexible and almost like excited by it, because this is not an A plus B equals C that's going to create more abundance for you. It's more holistic and it's more dynamic, and it's definitely more prone to fluctuations. And I am very much being told that the fluctuations, this is why you need to be steady with your own personal psychology, particularly to do with traumas in the past, to do with whatever it might be, because those traumas traumas from the past can tripwire your psychology and take you off piece, basically. And that's also can become a bit of a deception. It's almost like your subconscious, unconscious is deceiving you, telling you there's a threat in the immediate present when there's absolutely not. It's an opportunity, and it's an opportunity for you to very quickly turn things around, but only if you can overcome your own psychology to kind of get pulled back into a traumatic belief system from the past. This is really key. Capricorn, nice. Whew. Because if there's any energy that can bloody stabilize a Scorpio energy that's gone off piste, it's the Capricorn energy. And actually, you know, you could be somebody where you could have a lot of Scorpio in your birth chart, but if you've got a certain amount of Capricorn or just some significant points in Capricorn, it will allow you, if you want to ground this energy and make it productive and allow it to make you a lot of money quickly. Okay, and then we have Sagittarius. God, I feel like this is like, you do definitely need some self-mastery for sure. And I do feel like if you've chosen this pile, you have the ability to, you are intense, you're definitely intense. Whether you're intense externally with those around you or intense internally, that intensity is absolutely here. And it's kind of like finding a way to work with that intensity so that you can take action steps that create abundance quickly and very kind of like powerfully, to the point where people are quite amazed at what you can do and how quick you can do it, or the opportunities that you can create, kind of thing. And that's why when we saw the kid that had fallen over and then she explored it and then she wasn't worried about it and then went off into the playground, all the kids wanted to play with her because there was just something, they just felt this kind of attraction towards her. And even though they didn't know what it was, it's because she had this ability that not all humans have, which is to very, very quickly turn her fate around. So almost like when, and I'm saying it in these words because it's how it's being channeled to me, it's almost like when the gods go against you, you find a way to charm the gods and turn them onto your side, and then they bring you some good luck and they bring you opportunities. It's that kind of energy, if you know what I mean. I love this, by the way, it's so cool. Anyway, then we have, oh, amazing, great. Now we have the Star and we have the 10 of Coins. Exactly, this is what I'm feeling. You've got the opportunity to bring in a lot of abundance very, very quickly if you get your psychology straight, as we've just talked about. And then we have the Seeker of Coins and the Death card. So again, the Death card is very much a Scorpio energy. I do feel like, now I need to work out how this is different to Pile 2, because it definitely feels very different. Or it kind of, it does feel though like an opportunity to can come in quick for you, but it comes in quick for you because your psychology is in a certain way. And the psychology that Pile 2 needed was a different type of psychology to bring in the money quickly. So I actually don't really feel like Pile 2 would be relevant to you in any way, because it's this very specific psychology you need to work with. But anyway, you'll feel into it intuitively if you need to also listen to the other pile. But anyway, let me just feel what's going off here. I do feel like with both of these here, you can see the hands. I don't know if you can see it. There's hands on both of these, there and there. I don't know if you can see them. So I do think you need to, the opportunity or the next best action step you need to take is, it's something where at first you're going to have to do a lot more to then gain something even more in the future. So whether you're a business owner and you're going for a contract, and this contract will be quite a lot of effort to get. It's either not gonna come to you easily or quickly, or when it comes, it doesn't instantly give you a lot of money, because there's almost like, or it might give you a lot of money, but you have to be working a lot for it. It's that kind of energy. It kind of feels like that's what you need to know, but it will actually bring in a lot of money, and it's going to bring in a lot of stability. Like, to have the 10 of Coins and the Capricorn energy side by side, this is a very, very successful outcome for money, and definitely a very, very successful outcome to do with a business or a contract, or being seen in a really great way by your bosses. So it gives you some kind of additional opportunity, or it puts you in a situation where you can easily command more money, basically, something like that. But just do know that you're going to have to put the work in first. It's almost like you have to go through the obstacle first to then get this outcome. A bit like that girl falling over first. She had to go through kind of like adversity first with falling over and cutting her knee, and then it was how she handled that adversity that then actually brought in the amazing opportunity. Interestingly though, I want to say this This doesn't feel like this might happen or it might not happen. This feels like it's definitely a path that you're on, and so you will succeed in doing this. I don't see it as like a flaking reality that could go one way or another. It feels like very much more of a definite reality. Now obviously there's always some nuances to that, and you could be that nuance. Because let's just be open to wild cards. But on the whole, it does feel like all of you are heading in this pathway where you are going to put that more extra work in. You are going to go through that adversity, and you're very much going to turn it around to your advantage, and it's going to be a very, very abundant advantage. That's really what I feel with these here. And obviously the Star card is also can be a very healing card as well. So it feels also that by you going through this and doing this in this way, it's going to give you more than just monetary abundance. It's going to give you abundance in a very kind of like, you're going to be very energetically abundant. And I suppose what I mean by that is, again, I see it as like your energy field and your aura just getting way more potent, but at the same time, way more grounded. And again, this just feels like the potency of Scorpio at the same time as the balancedness of Capricorn, or kind of like the groundedness of Capricorn, I should say, and the savviness of Capricorn. So this just feels really, really good. It feels really, really good. But like I say, you know what, there is a little trickster that's going to come up that's going to make it seem like adversity or something's not working or it's not going in your favor. This is, and I don't really want to swear, but I have to, this is bullshit. It's not reality at all. It's just a trickster. But it's down to you to turn that trickster energy into an opportunity quickly. And in all honesty, that is the thing with the trickster energy. Because it's so fast and it's so playful and it's so changeable, it is easy actually on an energetic level, or like vibrationally, it's not as stuck, it's not as fixed energy. So it's easier to change. And that's why it's easier with whatever this opportunity is to basically turn something that seemed like it's going one way and not working for you, and then suddenly it turns around and really works for you. What I would also say is also coming out as well though is it might feel like something was almost lost, or a situation or scenario was lost, and then it starts to come back in some way, whether it comes back in exactly the same opportunity or a slightly different opportunity. I do feel like there's almost like a rebirth of something that you were going after. And it's so interesting with the little tooth here. It kind of feels like, I know that teeth are ruled by Saturn in the birth chart. It does feel like something you've been waiting for a while. And again, this plays into the fact that you almost have to put in more work, do the due diligence properly before this opportunity comes down for you to lock it down. And I am hearing that for some of you, if it is an opportunity that's coming back to you to do with abundance, the reason why you didn't lock it down the first time is because actually, like with this tooth, you didn't have quite the right wisdom to actually be able to lock it down and secure it long term. It's almost like you didn't have all your ducks in a row or something like that. And this was the key to you locking down this opportunity. You needed to have the wisdom to understand exactly what you wanted and how you're going to do it, along with almost like the physical reality to match that. So all the ducks needed to be in a row. So let's just say if you had a business, it's like you had to have the business deal all sorted and knew where the finances were coming from, both which ways, or knew how you were going to market it or how you were going to sell it. If you were working for somebody, it's kind of like you needed to I feel like you almost needed to know that you had the confidence, in fact in both ways, but definitely if you were working for somebody else, it's kind of like you just needed to know that you did have this confidence, you did have this skill, that you did have this ability to go ahead and be up level yourself, either with clients that you work for, or for the boss that you work for, or in the team that you work for. Because there's something really important about that. But you didn't quite have it all quite clear in your own psychology. You didn't quite have all your ducks in a row in terms of how you were going to physically do it. Either put that idea across to the team properly, and then like the steps to do with how you're going to do that on a very physical level, or something like that. But it does very much feel like this actually feels like quite a rebirth energy. So it kind of feels like an opportunity or something coming back in some way or other. Now it might, like I say, it might not be the exact same opportunity, but it is still the opportunity that brings in this huge level of abundance and shift and change. Whew, that sounds good. Right, let me just pull a few more oracles so we can get a little bit more. Whoop. Okay, fine, we'll let it do that. Also, I realise I'm talking really fast, so I'm sorry about that. Don't know why I seem to be speeding up. Right, let's just see. Right, let's have a look. So we have profound peace of mind, sweet hawks. Yeah, I think it's really important. Don't worry that you've missed something, or you've lost something, or you've missed an opportunity, or that you've played an opportunity incorrectly, because you really haven't. Oh, well, there we go. Opportunity for change. Yeah, this opportunity for change, if you got an opportunity and you didn't take it, or you didn't quite secure it in whatever way, it's coming back again. It's definitely coming back again. So you must make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row and you know how to respond to it differently this time around, so you securely lock it. Oh, wow. Death of a star. Love that. And then we have 5th house. So ruled by Leo. And then we also have Saturn again. Saturn came out in pile number 2 as well. Saturn is always there when it's to do with some kind of physical reality shift. You know, Saturn is always going to be there some way. Saturn is the guardian at the threshold, and that is actually it. Oh my God, that is it. Like the girl, going back to that image we saw in the beginning, the reason why she got this amazing opportunity for a kid, which is, say for example, all of the other kids wanting to be a friend and play with her, is because she successfully went through her guardian at the threshold moment. So where she fell over, she didn't go to this place of like insecurity, crying and all the rest of it. She explored it, and she just straight away got on with what she was doing, while taking that kind of exploration of, I don't know, looking at what the cut on her leg and like tasting the blood on the cut of her leg or whatever. She like explored it fully and then just went on doing exactly what she wanted to do. It basically didn't faze her at all. And that is, again, that sort of energy that needs to be brought in with this. So again, the more I'm reading into this, it feels like something returning in some way, an opportunity returning, and it is absolutely about you being ready to take it this time, because now you have potentially learned what it is that you need to learn to lock it down. But do make sure that you do know what you would do differently this time around if that same or very similar opportunity comes back to you, because this is really, really important. I don't know why I think of a death of the star a bit like a supernova. I feel like I need another one for this. One sec. What do we get? Okay. Oh wow, manifest. Yeah, so again, just don't think that you've lost out on some opportunity or whatever it is, because it's coming back round again. It's definitely boomeranging back round again. But part of it does feel like you have to know that you do want it. You have to know that if the opportunity comes back again, this time you're going to do whatever you need to do to securely lock it down. And that does involve a slightly different mindset, and it involves a slightly different way of doing things. But with this Scorpio energy, the manifest energy, and the Capricorn energy, and even the Sagittarius energy, all of these things tell me you have the ability to really attract this into your reality, but do it smart. Don't do it all wishy-washy. And I don't mean this in any disrespect, but it's not as straightforward as like, let me make some manifestations under a full moon or new moon. No, 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 no. This is business. This is business mind. This is all about being very three-dimensional reality, kind of being very present on earth kind of thing. So you do the due diligence practically. Do you know how you're gonna, what you need to say, what you need to do, where the finances need to be, what the proposal needs to be, how you will make it work if you get it. This is what I mean by manifesting, not manifesting under the full moon or new moon. Nope. Nope, nope, no. Capricorn is not down for any of that, and neither is the 10 of coins, and Saturn absolutely is not. Now, that's not to say that sometimes it's not a really great thing to do. If you've got some Pisces energy here and other stuff, then I'd be like, yeah, you know, use the full moon energy, etc. But we really, really don't. This is very much about you creating this and locking down this opportunity returning by basically doing the due diligence and having all your ducks in a row in a very physical way, so you know exactly how you're going to work with this when this opportunity comes in. I feel like this massively. But as well, with a profound peace of mind, know that this is absolutely going to happen. So please just prepare. This is really important. And the fact that you didn't secure it the first time round, 7 of Swords, it was just a trickster energy. It was a trickster energy. It was a test. Or as I've heard some people, it's like a shit test, basically, just to see how you're going to respond. And you still have the ability to respond differently and manifest and bring it back in. And I feel like with the death of a star, this could be powerful, powerful, a real powerful shift. And that's why it's almost taken a few false starts, as it were, or it's taken time to fully get this opportunity to do with what you will do to, or the opportunity that arises that you then can take, which then gives you more of this money and abundance and helps you in your career and all the rest of it. But it's quite a defining moment, basically. And I do think as well, with the 5th house creativity and with this star here and just how I feel it, basically, it has got this thing about it's going to allow you to shine completely, and very much like the Leo energy, it's going to bring you a lot of pleasure, actually. It's going to bring a lot of pleasure, but it's also going to, it's just going to make you feel good. You are going to enjoy it. That's not to say that there's not going to be some hard things you need to do with the Saturn energy, but the overall energy is you're really, really going to enjoy this. You're going to enjoy this a lot. And it's going to really, I think, a bit like the death of a star. It's kind of like quite a very pivotal moment in your career or in your business or whatever it is. It's quite pivotal, or I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. It's a big point, basically, that's very significant in your timeline. So you'll look back at it in the future and recognise that it was so important. Cool, so that's what I'm getting for that. Now I'm just going to pull one last one for you guys to interpret yourself and use your own intuition. So let's just see what we get. So I'm not going to say anything. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So obviously, if you need to pause this video, etc. But just one thing I just have to say, because I just cannot resist it. You know when it says take a risk? Sagittarius energy is all about that. But with the Capricorn energy here, you need to be savvy about it. And what I would also say as well is it might also be useful for you to look at the highest potential video. I'm going to see it like a psychic channel for Sagittarius energy as well. In fact, look at it for all of them. Look at it for Scorpio, Capricorn and Sag, because I think all of this will help prepare you for what is coming. And it is so totally coming, because you've been calling it in, you've been seeking it for a while, and you have put a lot of work in to create this opportunity that gives you more in your career, business, etc., more abundance. But yeah, the time is approaching quick, so take on board everything that's been said here. Oh, but one last thing as well, a main spokes guide is saying for all of you that to do with this pile is that also don't worry about that you're going to miss the opportunity, because the opportunity is going to be there for you. It's just how long it takes you to get into the mindset and the space and have all your ducks in a row in a very physical, practical way that is going to be the key of whether it comes quick or whether it comes slow. And that's purely down to you, and it's a very personal thing for each of you. So yeah, I hope that was useful, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.